Welcome back to the Huddle. This is the coach. We're bringing football knowledge to anybody who wants to learn the game from the basics all the way up to the Masterclass. Today we're going to cover the offense and we're going to break down each position group and their generic job. Remember, the offense is the side of the ball that's trying to score points. So to first start, I'm going to draw up 11 guys on the field just so you can kind of see a basic formation. Then we'll get into the depths of each position group and their job on a play-to-play basis. Okay, so we already have the 5-0 linemen drawn up in the middle, and now I'm throwing up a couple guys on the outside, a quarterback and a running back, and we're going to go into each of those position groups and really kind of dive in to what their job is, play in and play out. So to start, we're going to start with the offensive line. Now, the offensive line are typically going to be the biggest guys on the football field. They're the big guys up front that protect people. So you see here the O-line, the offensive line, the OL. It's broken up to 5 different positions. Now, their sole job is the same. There's ins and outs to each one, but typically when you're watching the game, their job is going to be the same, so we don't need to dive into the nitty-gritty of each position. But we'll talk about what they are just so you know. Here, the square, the guy in the middle of the O-line, he's going to be the guy that touches the ball every single play. He's what we call the center. Okay, the center is typically going to be the guy who has the highest football IQ, and he can really call the offensive line protections and ID everybody in the run game. Outside of the center, you have the guys right next to him. We call those the guards, right? So I'm just going to put a G right here. Guards, G-U-A-R-D, all right? We have a guard on each side, a left guard and a right guard, right? Then, usually the tallest of the group is going to be your tackles. They're going to be on the outside, all right? I'm tagging those with T's. Those are going to be your offensive tackles. Okay, the tackles, the guards, and the center, all of their job on pass plays is to protect the quarterback. What you should really think about the O-line is they're a shield, right? They're trying to shield the quarterback on pass games, protect him from getting tackled, so they block people up front. If it's a run game, we like to talk to them about they're like people movers. They like to move people, so they're going to block people and try to create space for the running back. Okay, so that's the offensive line. Those are going to be the big fellas up front. So understand that they're trying to protect the quarterback in the pass game and move people in the run game. There's 5 of them. They all have basic same job. Now, let's really get into the next position group. All right, the next position we're going to talk about is going to be the quarterback. Now, the quarterback is the guy that gets all the fame, or he gets all the shame. The quarterback or the QB, he's really the leader of the offense. Okay, his job, other than the center, he's going to be the other guy that touches the ball almost every play. Like 99% of the time, the quarterback gets his hands on the football. Okay, so he's the guy that stands directly behind the center right here. All right, and I'm going to add a little line that signifies our guy. He's the quarterback. Now, the quarterback catches the ball, right, and now he has 2 different responsibilities. If it's a running play, typically he's going to hand the ball off to the running back. As he hands the ball off to the running back, he can carry out a fake. After the ball's handed off, his job's done. Okay, now, the more complex part of the game of quarterback is when I'm ready to pass the football. He's the guy that has to throw the football to the receivers, the running back, or the tight ends while the offensive line protects him. Okay, quarterback is a very high, mentally challenging position because they have to be able to read the defense, what type of coverage, what type of front, how do we change the protection, where to go with the football. He's got a lot of pressure on his plate because if he makes a mistake, the offense doesn't operate at a high level. So having a quarterback that can either make a ton of plays or make sure that the offense runs on routine plays and doesn't make big mistakes is huge. Okay, now let's talk about the receivers and the running back. Now understand, we can categorize them and the tight ends as weapons. Okay, they're the weapons, the guy that the quarterback can distribute the football to. So we already kind of briefly talked about the running back. When the quarterback hands the ball off on a running play, he's going to hand it to the running back. So running backs, we can identify the running back as the RB, all right, if we're just drawing up quick diagrams, all right. He's the guy that gets the ball handed to him, and he's following the big fellas up front. The O-line is creating lanes and creases for the running back to run the football and avoid defenders. Running backs also, especially today in football, need to be able to catch the football. They can go out on routes, right? And the quarterback can throw the football to them. They can catch it and run downfield. The running back also sometimes has to be into protection, right? Just like the O-line, they're an extension of that in the pass game. They might have to protect any blitzing linebackers. Okay, the next position we're going to cover is wide receivers, right? And so I'm going to draw, this guy's an X, that's a Z. I'm going to put this one as a slot, right? And I'm going to tag this other guy as a Y. Okay, so right now in this diagram, consider the X, the S, and the Z as wide receivers. So the wide receivers' number one job is to receive the football when the quarterback passes it. So what does that mean? When the ball is snapped on a pass play, these receivers are going to be running routes, and they're going to try to get open in space. The quarterback will then throw the football, and they got to catch it and come down with the play. So they have to, one, be fast, be able to dodge and avoid defenders, but they have to also be able to catch the football, acrobatic plays. These guys make highlight reels on Saturdays and Sundays when you're watching games. They make explosive plays down the field. Now, the X, the S, and the Z I said are going to be our receivers. The next one's going to be our Y. That's a new position that we're going to call the tight end. So understand the tight end is like the unicorn of offense. It's a very, very unique position because tight ends are asked to do a lot of different things. They're kind of like a hybrid between a receiver and an offensive lineman. So they're hard to find that are really good, but when you find good ones, they play in the league for a long time. Or all you Swifties out there would know who Travis Kelce is. He's going to be our tight end. So tight ends do like receivers. They can run routes. Okay, as they run routes, they catch the football thrown from the quarterback, but they're also asked, they're usually bigger guys. They're kind of a mix between the O-line size and the receiver size, and they're bigger guys, so we ask them sometimes to move into the core, right? I'm going to attach him right next to the O-line. Let me erase this route real quick. Okay, when I put him next to the offensive line, okay, I'm going to put him right next to him. He becomes an extension of the O-line. Now, he still has the ability to go out for a pass, but now we're going to ask him to move people in the run game or pass protect in the pass game and protect the quarterback. So tight ends are very unique positions. It's hard to find good ones, but when you do, they can help out your team a lot. Now, offenses have the opportunity to go in and out, have one tight end on the field, one running back on the field, and 3 receivers. Okay, so we call that personnel. So the offensive personnel can change. They don't always have to have 3 receivers and 1 tight end. When we start getting into personnel, which I'll cover in our next video, we'll go into what offensive personnels are, how you break them down, how can I identify it when I'm watching the game, and what does it mean? How does it affect the game? Like always, I appreciate your time. If you learned something today, make sure you drop a like. If you want anything covered, make sure you hit it in the comment section below.